Hi everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield. I'm a professional dance choreographer and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States, and we're taking a look at ATEEZ's BOUNCY K-Hot Chili Peppers dance practice. But this is technically my final one of the marathon that was from the original, like when I made the poll for who to pick. And not only am I going to be looking at the choreography and the content, I don't think I've heard the song or anything, I'm going to be attempting, very loosely used, attempting to identify all 8 members. That's going to be really tricky for me, especially is Songhwa, Wooyoung, and Yeolsang. Those are the 3 that are the trickiest for me to identify, and I still feel that way. But honestly, I'm already pretty impressed that I've been able to pick up on most of the other members. So I am excited to take a look at this from multiple facets. So without further ado, let's check it out. Mingi's in the jeans. Song's in the jeans and the baseball cap. Hey! Woo! No, Song's in the beanie. My bad. That could be Hongju that I identified. And they're starting to use that percussion a lot here that we saw in the so that's Jongho. Percussion that they did in Crazy Form. Hey! I've seen this choreo before. Okay. I didn't know this was them. This is cool. Whoa! Really great reveal of their dancers. See, I tell you, Mingi always gets revealed from the back. Love that. Hey! Love this. Wow! Oh, I love that modification. This is great. I do not have a lot of confidence I'm going to get all of them right. I'm just telling you that right now. Wow, those dancers are really going for it on that part. That has to be Wooyoung because he always does stuff with San, maybe. His movement quality is giving me Yeolsang right there in the 60. Based on how his range is, I could be so wrong on that though. I originally thought that was San. It's not. San's in the beanie. That's Wooyoung! Because they did this. That has to be Wooyoung right there. Songhwa may be in the yellow. Oh my god, did I get him? I think I got almost all of them. Hold on. Did I do it? Hold on. Yeah, that was it. I got so excited and I didn't actually, let me watch this ending again so I can actually see what the choreo is. I'm sorry, I got so excited. The tank is Hongjun. Yeah. That's Yoonho. Oh my god. Okay. I think that, okay. Maybe I have more confidence than I thought. I don't know. I like the ending. This is a whole little vibe. It feels definitely more on the viral side, but I really like it. Okay, so before we do anything, I need to go, here we go. Here's our guys. They're all kind of like right there. Okay, so now we're going to take our guess here. I think we're going to guess. I can go ahead and tell you right now, this is, that's Yoonho. I Spy Yoonho. I think it's him because of his movement quality. I noticed that, and he's taller. This is Jongho. Because he did a partner little section with Sun, that's why I think he's Woo Young. Sun's coming from the back. This is Mingi, he always gets revealed from the back. Always. So that has to be Mingi right there. Okay, now, yes, this is Woo Young because they had a moment, and a Patreon told me that they have a moment together. Okay, that has to be Yoonho because of height and also his movement quality because of his body. I think this is, oh shoot. Naturally that means he would need to be, because of his facial expressions, Hongjoon. This, my gut's telling me this is Yeolsang because of his fullness of his movement. Because I noticed that from a couple other tracks that I've seen him do. Which means my last guy, this would have to be Songhwa. I think I did it. Did I actually do it? I actually feel a little confident behind this because, and I think honestly it's because I spent the last two practices making sure, like going off of their outfit, seeing the differences and really trying to look at their movement quality or how they set up in their features. I think I'm right. The only ones I'm still not 1,000% is Yeolsang, but I really think based on movement quality, he would have to be number 60. Yoonho, once I clocked him, like once I like really thought about it, that was Yoonho, and the Mingi was pretty easy to spot. San, I don't know why I got messed up on San, but I did catch him because of his movement quality and because of I can recognize his face more than anybody else's, and also his beanie. He wears a beanie. Okay, enough of me playing scavenger hunt, who's who. Let's go ahead and go from the top and actually look at this. I really liked this choreo. This choreo was cool. I would say is it my favorite? Probably not in the terms of virality. I think Crazy Form that happens after this one, I think I prefer more out of it, but I understand that this one was going for a different concept entirely. The Crazy Form was going for that, it was very aggressive, but it has a militant aesthetic about it. Not really, it had some viral moments in it, but more like the Afro dance hall moments. Here was more viral TikTok vibes is really what it gave me. So here from the top, this one would be fun for with a taste like chili. Delay. I love that, bringing this up from the beginning, which is really nice. I love that Mingi's right there. I love they set it up. They're like, hey, fight me. What you gonna do? Hongjoon's right there, I think, right there. Yoonho's right there. I love it because he still doesn't use his torso to this day. I really like, does that make sense? Like, he's still not using this the way everybody else does. Here, hitting it through. We're getting ready. Let's go! Yep, you can just really tell right there in the setup. Boom, doo-doo-doo. Using your chest is what really is going to help that look a little bit more full. Yoonho's not quite doing it, but my guys on the outside are doing a much better job. He is Yoonho through and through. Look at the height. Mingi's tall. Yoonho's tall. They have to be. Anyway, moving on from here. Now, ooh, I really like that moment. Boom, right there. Super fun. That peel forward. That clap, which the throws, which I really like. Having this moment, do-do-do-do-do, which I really like. It's cool. Back to the speed. The switches, notice that San didn't quite move over as quickly, which is why there was a little bit of an overlap that happened right there. So that would just be my overall note. The drum, da-da-da-da, with the little interruption. I like that. It's small, subtle, and effective. And having that, ooh, with the whistle, my feature was the only one who dropped down, and then everybody else kind of stayed up, so I like that moment. So there's a lot, it's very, it feels very quick, not just because of the BPM, but because their transitions, they're switching between the transitions very quickly, and they're not staying anywhere for a long time, and that's why it feels quick and fast. And there's a lot of subtle interruptions that are happening in their movement and sounds that they're catching more often than what you would normally see, hence why this feels very fast. And I like the fact it feels very, very intense. Kind of, it feels spicy, but in that speed sense. I like this here, push through. Because Yoonho does not use his back as much as I feel like he would need to for that sequence. That's why he was off in range. Mingi also is somebody who showcases that sometimes too. Melting through. I like that. The rubbing of the stomach from San. That was a fun moment. He goes and he throws it. I love that everybody picked the leg up except for San. That was cool. That little boom, 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 boom. But San didn't quite use his range as full as I think he could have there. Yoonho coming back in. Really like seeing this here. He's hunched here, but he's not hunched here. And that's another thing too, is that we don't see this differentiation from Yoonho as often, which is why it's harder to tell if he's on the same page with everybody in torso. But I would say he's still very nice. Synchronicity is still very nice here. The second chorus, when they do this part the second time, it looks way cleaner. Pull through, the punch there. Yep, and the throw, which is nice. Na, na, na. Hit through, which I like with Jongho right here being introduced. He's always the one who's stable and but I also know, doesn't he have he has a chronic injury too, so he is doing a very good job, I think, of vibing out here, which I'm appreciative of. It's good to see. Oh, boom, boom, boom. I love that. Notice they didn't just move with the head, they move with the upper body a little bit more. Doon, 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 dropping it down. This part I feel like is pretty subtle. For the very first time we're hearing the drop, I do feel like we could have done a little bit more of the commitment to the hinge here. But whenever you see it with the backup dancers, that's probably where you're getting that from. But I really do like this choreo, but I would feel he's a little bit too upright. My guy right here, a little too upright. But nothing too crazy, honestly. Spicy. Na. 3 and a boom, boom, boom. I still feel pretty confident in my guesses. I think the only one that I was not really 100% on is Wooyoung, but it's because he was partnered with San for that one moment is the only reason why I have any confidence behind that guess, because everyone was saying that anytime San does something with someone, it's always with Wooyoung. So that's why I'm guessing that. But honestly, I got Wooyoung and San a tad bit confused at first, I think. So yeah, that would be Wooyoung. I still think this is Yeosang because of movement quality. That's Mingi because of tone and also his movement quality. This is San. This is Yoonho. This is Jongho. This is Hongjun, and then behind him is Songhwa. So very great way. Honestly, I think it was very smart of them to go a little bit more in front, because you do not see these backup dancers coming the first time you watch it because it's so fast. Yeah, that little spicy, not quite as full as I think it could have been, but bringing it through. Also, shout out to Hongjun for actually wearing appropriate shoes for this room. They'd be slipping and sliding every time I see them in them dress shoes. So I'm glad that we're wearing proper footwear for this. Breaks away, Yoonho. I like this right here. It's really great on the hinges on this. I think Yoonho. This is a kudos to him too, because he's so tall. I understand that the hinges could be a little bit harder for him because of his inseam. But it's very impressive to see them really go for that. Hello, ba-da-da-da, spicy. This was definitely more the intermediate to beginner, not beginner, but more simpler in construct choreographically, where you're able to see the visuals or doing a groove over and over again. The dynamic is what makes it captivating, not the movement itself. Like this part right here, making them go lower and lower is what makes it stand out, right? And then da-na-na-na, spicy. It's a little gimmicky, a little cutesy, playful more so than cutesy, but it's definitely a nice thing that they're pursuing. Yeah, I like that. Don't know da 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 da, which I like. It's similar to a hit the quan, but not quite. And I love moments like that. That's why it feels viral on the TikTok side. Or that party, new school party side. But it doesn't feel dated. I would say the Say My Name era in particular felt like they was using a lot of viral moves, but they were very dated because they weren't modified or varied enough. But here, this is a great example, which is why I like BB Trippin', because you see this trend with their stuff and it matches really well and it ages well over time, so I very much like that. Yep. Yeah, a little do-do-do-do-do. Yeah, that is Yeosang. It has to be, because I made a note about him last time where he really goes for certain grooves when I feel like if he was just more subtle, it would carry a little bit better, because everybody else was more subtle except for him. So that would just be my overall note. If it is not him, I will be disappointed in myself, because I feel like my gut's telling me it is. So be nice to me if I'm wrong. I I am excited about the fact that I'm possibly right, but if I'm wrong, please help me give another indicator of movement quality or something that can help me for the next B-sides or anything like that. But I love that, bringing it down and up with the wave, which I like. Hitting there, do-do-do-do. This was really nice with the boom, and he brings them in. I really love this. I think Mingi's sections are definitely getting more captivating, or they're becoming more of like a really nice key moment or focal point in the choreography as a whole, because his last one that he did with Halazia, I think, yeah, that's the one I just did. His movement, like, it was a really great section, and it was very collaborative with partners, so that was cool. And then seeing this here, it's very complimentary here too. I love that boom, which I love that there. And they peel around. They set it up with the arms up to help with him as he goes forward. They go up, so it frames really well. Go to the side. I love that. Boom, boom, boom. That was freaking awesome. Hold on. There's something that he does. It's just Mingi specifically. Hold on. I'm gonna 0.75 so we can really see what's going on. Boom, boom, boom. Does he do a double hit with his hips? I think is what he does. And that's really impressive, because you normally you see people, he uses his leg. His right leg is, he bends it to help repeat the hit. And he does a triple hit with the baits with the hips. Very impressive, because it's so subtle and it looks seamless. And that's why it took me a second to really register what was going on. Now, seeing everybody else go around, what do? Yeah, it's a triple hit, triple pelvis hit. Very impressive how nonchalantly simple he makes it. That's a really hard to do, to kind of get that syncopation and get it to match all 3 times is really hard. Normally you can get a double out, but triple is really hard. So that was good. That little, hey, boom, and they get low. Now I'm going to do a little shout out right here to this dancer. You see the risk taking he does when they do this part is wild. And I'll probably point out once we see it, but love it goes out. I love this here, boom. One of our guys is a little too close. I think he needs to be out a little bit further. That's my note to him. Bleeding through. I like that. Boom, boom. Yeah, but I understand why he's a little bit closer in, because you have your new feature coming out. There, his range could have been better. Boom, boom, boom. Using the torso to create that lean is what really would have helped make that come to life a little bit better. A turnaround, which was nice. Boom, boom, boom. Bringing it through. I do feel like, I know that he is really hyped up on the energy of what he's saying, but I think we could take a more subtle approach, because he is starting to come across more unstable in a lot of his feature moments, is because there's not a clean transition between his choices of movement. That's my only note. And it's not even a bad thing, it's just something I noticed. Yeah, that was better. It was cleaner. And everyone's like, yeah. I like this too. This part's a little bit better, more chill. Yeah, that was much better from him. This was great though. This is tying into Crazy for him, because they do a lot of this stuff. Boom, da 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 boom, that kind of stuff. That staccato to legato transitions, which I really like. And I like that Sana is more in the front going in. But notice though, it does have a second of not having good symmetry, because you have somebody missing here and you have 2 people here. So that's just my little note for that. Now he's right back in though, so I know that was his spot that we were waiting on. Young Ho, dipping it in. I like the build up here. 3, 4. Young Ho having his moment, building it back in. This is so fun. I think this is one of the best formation transitions they did in the whole thing. But having that switch around, Hongjun did a really good job of that to really showcase we are moving here. Kind of spicy. Now, is everybody doing the exact same thing? Not quite. I would say Hongjun and Yeolsang, and that's I'm gonna stay true and double down on my guesses. So like, I really think this is Hongjun. This is Yeolsang. I really feel strongly about that. But they both are exuding a lot from the torso here, which is why it works. But also know though that the range is slightly off between Yoonho and Yeolsang, because notice that he uses his chest, he does not use his chest. And that's how you can tell in the spacing when they're facing side profile. Yep. Yeah, little bouncy. Jungho, marked that a little bit. San marked this little part a little bit, but I know it's because he's about to be featured. That part. Now look at this. My God, do you see what's happening here? He is completely inverted on his leg to create the hinge. And he's the only one doing that. That's why he's able to go so low. Very, very impressive. Woo! That's the kind of hinge level I was expecting from the first course, but we didn't quite get it, which is why the very first time all 8 members of ATEEZ did it, it was a bit underwhelming. And that's the only reason, but they really built it back up to a good place here. The postures are all subtly different, but even the backup dancers are subtly different. As long as the range and the overall dynamics are the same, how they all individually choose to go about the extra in-betweens of the content, it's not as big of an issue because of the type of track it is. Boom. Now at first, yeah, so da-da-da-da-da, bringing it through. I love his energy building it forward. Da-da. Yeah, just the energy of all this is so full. I love it. Building it up. I'd say the spacing's just slightly off. I think he went too far forward. I think if he went back just a smidge, he would really be in line with that front line. Or if he's supposed to be in the middle between these two lines, that would be another thing to note as well. Also, San is not quite digging deep into the down part of this groove, so that would be a note for him. That's slow. I love that. Everybody pulled, and he swoom went out to the side. Boom and bouncy, which I like. Just a little groove there, swinging it around. Notice though that like this part, it's what was it? Because I just did it. XG has it in theirs for left right, and so I just physically did it. He isolates it here instead of uses the chest. And so that would be for this. Normally you see people use the chest more. So that would be my note to him. He doesn't have to. It looked fine because he's the only one doing it. Having their own moment. Boom. Hit. I love that. Boom. Hit. Boom. I really like that moment there. Now this is the only reason why I think this is Wooyoung is because of what's happening right here. It's the only thing I'm going off of. So if this is not Wooyoung, then it has to, don't blame me. We have to blame the patrons. I'm blaming y'all because y'all told me to have confidence in finding Wooyoung by always doing partner stuff with San. Now, if that's not the case, that's okay. The discussions for this is going to be really fun because it's either going to be a celebration in the comments that I got everybody right, or we're all going to be laughing at the fact of how confident I was in being wrong. So it's really going to swing one of those two ways. All that to say though, I'm having an absolute blast. I don't think I've had so much fun trying to figure out who is who than with this group. So I will say that's what makes it really enjoyable. It's because their performance and their stage presence is really fun. And the commentary that comes with it in Patreon as I'm doing this too is really enjoyable. I love they have their moment. Ah, they move. But I love the head. San's really more subtle in that, which it doesn't really bother me as much, but I love that everyone's really popping off. Backup dancers in the back are really showcasing up nice and tall. That swing is really nice. I love how Hongjun swings to the back. And I also want to know, is that a real tattoo he has? I don't have any. I'm just kidding. I have like 2 sleeves, and I'm going to have so many more tattoos this time next year. But just, I'm wondering if that was a real tattoo of his. It's kind of cool. Nice little moment there. That swing. That's that da-da-da. Love the tension near the tail end of that. Really nice. He keeps his arm up, so it keeps us clocking that he's our feature. Good job not throwing this ending away from them. Sometimes when you do a concept like this, sometimes you do end up throwing the ending a little bit more, but they're doing a good job holding it down and staying in sync with each other. That little da-da-da turn, which is really nice. Swing, and they finish. Freaking great. I love that. Like, this was a really great, I would call this a checkpoint. This is the end of a checkpoint with ATEEZ for me when it comes to the main dance practices. There may be a chance I may have missed 1 or 2, but I went off of, this was like what's on ATEEZ is what's on here. So this was, and so I'm feeling pretty strong about getting, if I didn't get all 8, I think I got about 6 out of 8 if I didn't get them all. But very, very proud of them from where they started to where they are now, and then seeing them in crazy form was really enjoyable too. And I think once again, I still stand by the timing of when I watch crazy form because it was really appropriate for me because I had just watched Wonderland, and then seeing crazy form was such a night and day, and it really helped me look forward more so to the process of getting to these tracks because it made me go, okay, we're really seeing things click. Gorilla was like very, very, very clean. And you could really see that in that. And then all of these, we now have this new standard of synchronicity that we're maintaining. And I very much appreciate that too. So this was great. As always, I loved this. This was awesome.